I feel that the demonstration went well. I think that the student at the end was able to reach the goal of sewing or threading a sewing machine by using the steps, so that they could in later lessons sew and learn the different strategies to sew different materials and everything. So I think that my directions were really nice. I wanted to make sure we highlighted each of the vocabulary words, and you can see they're kind of in a bolder color, and this helps me and the student really focus on what words we need to use. I also think that asking the questions helped, and kind of seeing where they started, because it's always really important. If this student already knew how to thread a sewing machine, which obviously we know it's for the class, but if this student already knew how to thread a sewing machine, then I wouldn't need to teach it. I could maybe just focus on the parts, or I could focus on going to the next steps with this student. Or if it's in a class setting, I could use the student and help them, or help me with like explaining how to do each step. So it's really important to understand background knowledge, and I think that I gathered that by he knew where the needle was, but he didn't quite know how to get from the top to the bottom. I think after watching the video that I could have done a better job like reading the directions the first time, but I could also have improved on my directions and how I say the words so that they're very specific, and really encourage him to say each step. I think he knew the steps after going over it, but could have benefited more from saying number one and saying all those words, because in later lessons when we actually learn how to sew, it's going to be useful when I say like, make sure you're around the bobbin wire tension discs, or move the tension control knob. He doesn't have to wonder where he's going. He'll know exactly where that is. So I definitely could have done better with really focusing in on those words. Some obstacles that the student faced during this was that like going through the needle was really hard. Maybe even before threading the needle or a sewing machine, I could have practiced threading a needle, so it was a lot easier to go through. I know that it's a lot of steps, so I could even break up the steps even more, combine some to make it not as many and not so overwhelming. And what changes or modification? So moving forward, I think the individual understands how to go through the sewing machine, but I think that I could definitely teach a little bit better, or I really want to give more support on the vocabulary words, so that when we go into further lessons, he's able to use those vocabulary words himself. So I want to make sure that he continues to practice with those vocabulary words so that he knows that in later lessons. But overall, I think that it went really well, and I think that the student was able to reach the goal. Thank you.